Hi everybody, if you don't know me already, my name is Kaylee. I am a certified nutritionist and gut health specialist, and I love helping people to overcome their chronic gut issues at their root using the principles of ancestral nutrition, as well as some other holistic health principles. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I cured my UTI naturally without antibiotics. So basically about a month ago, I got a UTI for the first time ever. And I knew I didn't want to take antibiotics if it could be helped. Now, that is something that a lot of people go straight to the doctor for and take antibiotics for. But because I'm in the gut health field, I know how bad antibiotics are for you. And I really trust my body. So I chose to tune into my body, do a ton of research immediately, and find out how to heal it. And I had about 3 days of bad symptoms, and then there's one thing that I implemented that turned everything around. And after I added that, about 12 hours later, the inflammation was down. I felt a whole lot better, and I could tell I was getting better. So I'll be sure to share that with you, as well as some other things that helped me too. So yeah, after that, let's see, it was about a week after I implemented that one thing that I was completely symptom free. Once I implemented it, it just got better and better until, about a week later, I was completely symptom free. So everybody's a little bit different. I do take really good care of my health. I do take really good care of my gut health. So I think that helped me to have a less severe one that I was able to treat. But nevertheless, it was still uncomfortable, and I got over it. So when I first got one, I started doing a bunch of research. I asked all my friends who had overcome their UTIs naturally what they did. I looked at my herb books, I looked online, I read articles, watched videos. Dr. Berg's videos on YouTube were really helpful for me for this. So in this video, I'm gonna share what I learned from my research and what helped me to heal. So I'm going to cover the symptoms of a UTI so you can narrow down if this is what you have or not. You can go to the doctor and get a test if you like, but the symptoms are pretty telling and it's not too hard to figure out if you have one or not. I'm going to talk about the causes so you can really understand what causes a UTI, so then you can make sure that you're really healing it at the root and you'll learn how to prevent them in the future. I'm going to talk about the treatments. There are a lot of different options, and then I'm going to go over my regimen, what I did that worked really, really well for me. I'm going to talk about some things that can decrease the discomfort quickly, because while you're treating the root cause, it's really, really nice to have a few things that can just help you to feel better immediately. These are going to be very natural. It's not going to be taking painkillers or anything like that. So I'll talk about that. And then I'm also going to talk about antibiotics at the end and how bad they can be, and just a little caution about taking them. If you absolutely have to take them, don't feel guilty. Things happen, but if you don't have to take them, it is best to avoid them. So if you like this holistic root cause approach that I talk about in this video, then you can subscribe for more videos like this. I talk about a lot of different gut issues, what causes them at the root, and how to heal them holistically and with your diet. And if you want even more help with your gut issues, I do offer a program called Ancestral Gut Healing, where I work with you personally to heal your gut issues at the root. So if you're interested in that, I'll talk more about it at the end. I'll also leave a link down below if you want to book a call with me to learn more about that. So let's get into it. The symptoms of a UTI: bladder pain and inflammation. If you just feel pain and inflammation down where your bladder is, and if you're a little unsure, just look up a diagram online and you can narrow down exactly where your bladder is. So if you feel that pain and inflammation, it's often worse when you're sitting. If you're moving around, that tends to alleviate it. So when you're sitting down for a while, it starts to hurt really bad. If you have any kind of pelvic pain, if you feel like you have to pee constantly, despite having a near empty bladder or having just gone to the bathroom, you just feel like all the time you have to pee, that is another symptom. You also will often urinate very frequently. You can feel a burning sensation when you pee, and sometimes you have cloudy urine as well. Now, more severe symptoms that can happen are kidney pain, blood in your urine, and a fever. If you get these, then it's best to seek medical attention. If your natural efforts have not worked and you are developing a high fever and really bad kidney pain, it is most likely going to be a really good idea to go see a doctor. But if you address this early enough with the things that I'm going to give you in this video, you very, very likely won't even get there. But I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so what causes it? So UTIs are caused by an overgrowth of E. coli, a pathogenic form of E. coli in your urinary tract. So there are lots of forms of E. coli. They're not all bad. A lot of them are in our body all the time, but there's a pathogenic version of E. coli. And when that overgrows, this is when you get the symptoms of a UTI. Now, it doesn't have to be E. coli. Sometimes it's a different microbe, but I think it's about 80 to 90% of UTIs, they say, is E. coli. So there are a few things that can basically make this pathogenic form of E. coli overgrow in your urinary tract. So let's see, what do I have here? Pretty much, I talk about gut dysbiosis a lot. Now, you have microbiomes all over your body, so you have a microbiome in your urinary tract as well. So if your urinary microbiome, which is going to be affected by a lot of the same factors as your gut microbiome, if that is off and you don't have enough of those good microbes in there, then the pathogenic ones can and will oftentimes overgrow. So it's going to be the same thing with candida, gut dysbiosis, bloating, all of those kinds of issues. So I'll get into this more, but fermented foods and avoiding antibiotics and avoiding antibacterial soaps and things like that is going to be really helpful here in managing stress. Okay, a few things that can throw your urinary microbiome off. Like I said, this is super common, or this is super similar to your gut microbiome. Eating a high sugar diet, having too high or too low of estrogen. If you recently took antibiotics, this is another reason why ideally you do want to cure this without antibiotics, because if you do take antibiotics, you're more likely to get another UTI, you're more likely to get yeast infections, gut issues, and so many other issues. So if you can avoid it, that's wonderful. If you have an unhealthy gut microbiome, that's going to affect all your microbiomes, including your urinary microbiome. If you don't pee right after having sex, that can also affect your microbiome in your urinary tract and make you more susceptible to UTIs. If you just have poor hygiene, that is another thing, poor like vaginal hygiene, or if you're a man, other thing, poor hygiene down there. If you have recently had a catheter, or if you hold in your pee too much, because when you're peeing, you're going to be getting rid of some microbes too. So if you're holding in your pee for a long, long time where you're uncomfortable, those microbes are kind of staying in there. They might be multiplying and doing some things you don't want them to. So don't hold your pee too much. Okay, so the treatment for this. So when you're treating a UTI, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. One, you want to take something to kill off the excess pathogens. Now, for me, I took oregano oil. This is going to kill off some of those excess pathogens, mainly the E. coli, but it's not going to be anywhere near as crazy as antibiotics. So it's a nice, more natural kind of antibiotic that is just way, way less intense, but it's still really powerful and healing. You also want to really flush out the urinary tract. So you want to drink lots of water and diuretics. So basically you're going to want to have dandelion, burdock, nettle, parsley, something like that in a tea form will really help you to flush this out. And you just want to pee really often to, again, just flush out the urinary tract so that everything else you're doing is going to be helping. So you're going to be killing off these things and you want to flush them out. And there's a few things I'll get to in a moment that are going to help detach the bacteria from your urinary tract walls. So you're going to want to flush those out too. So that's going to be super helpful. Third, you want to eat lots of fermented foods to replenish the good microbes in your urinary tract. 4, you want to include other herbs and supplements that are known specifically to help with urinary tract infections. So cranberry, D-mannitose, both of those prevent E. coli from binding to the urinary wall. So if you can take either a supplement that has cranberry in it, you can do cranberry juice too, but just make sure there's no sugar added because sugar is going to feed the E. coli. So yeah, you can have like a pure cranberry juice. That's great. I did that. Or you can take a supplement that has that in it. And then there's lots of other herbs. There are so many herbs. I took out all my herb books and was looking at all the herbs for urinary tract infection, and there's got to be like 20 or 30 of them. So you can experiment with a lot of different herbs. Okay, so this is my regimen. This is exactly what I did to heal. So I took oregano oil. You want to take 200 about milligrams. The capsules that I bought had 230 milligrams in them, so I just did that 3 to 4 times a day. So this is going to help, like I said before, kill off those excess pathogens, mainly that E. coli, and it's not going to wipe everything out like antibiotics do. They just kill off like so much of your bacteria. So you probably will accidentally kill off a little bit of the good microbes, but it's not going to be anywhere near like those antibiotics. So oregano oil is great. This is that one thing that I added a few days in because the other things just weren't quite enough. And then I learned about oregano oil and I was like, oh God, I have to try this. And this is when it was starting to get worse. I was starting to feel more inflammation. For a second, I started to feel my kidneys a little bit. And I took the oregano oil. I started taking it 4 times a day. One capsule, 230 milligrams, 4 times a day. And about 12 hours later, all that inflammation in my bladder that made it so painful to sit in any position just decreased, and suddenly it was like a huge breath of fresh air. Before, I felt like my bladder was going to literally explode at any second, and after about 12 hours after this, it was like a huge relief, like, oh my God, it's not going to explode, it's okay. And then from there, this just really helped me. Once I felt like I had it pretty under control, I dropped down to 3 a day. And then the last few days where I felt like, hey, this is pretty much gone, but I just want to be sure, I just took 1 or 2. But when you're still feeling it pretty strong, you want to take 3 to 4 a day. I used Gaia Herbs oil of oregano, so that one worked well for me. Let's see. You don't want to take it longer than 2 to 4 weeks because, it is an antimicrobial. You don't want to constantly be attacking the microbes in your body. So this is something that you only want to take for about 2 to 4 weeks. But if your symptoms are done before then, which they really should be, you can stop taking it right away then. So then the second thing that I did in my regimen was I took Life Season's Urinary X supplement. So I'll link down below these different supplements that I got. And if you watch my videos a lot, you might be surprised there's more supplements in here. I'm not normally a supplement person, but when it comes to treating certain specific things like UTIs, they can be really helpful, and I tend to go for herbs. Those are going to be what help the most in the situation. So anyway, this is something you can take till your symptoms are gone as well. You can also take it as a preventative if you are getting these a lot. Basically, it contains D-mannitose, cranberry, carboxylic acid, grapefruit seed, olive leaf, oregano leaf, erva usa, marshmallow root, red raspberry leaf, bilberry, and blueberry. So the D-mannitose and the cranberry and the bilberry and the blueberry all help prevent the bacteria from sticking to your urinary wall. So it really just helps flush these things out. Cranberry can also destroy biofilms. So sometimes bacteria in your body can create these biofilms, which basically is this big protective coat around it that prevents your immune system from being able to identify that it's there, and it can make it harder for your body to then attack and get rid of these bacteria that you don't want. So cranberry can help destroy those biofilms, which makes the E. coli a lot easier for your own immune system to detect and then destroy. So the carboxylic acid helps lower pH, which prevents unwanted microbes from growing and then supports immune function. So we need our urinary tract to be a low enough pH. It is the same thing if you're a woman with your vaginal microbiome. It has to be a low enough pH so that you are not overgrowing the wrong microbes. That lower pH helps prevent microbes that cannot grow in a low pH from growing, so that prevents a lot of pathogenic ones from growing. So if your pH is too high, then you can be more prone. So the carboxylic acid helps to lower that. Then the grapefruit seed and olive leaf are antibacterial and support immune function. The erva usa clears heat and toxins. It reduces inflammation. It stimulates kidney activity, curbs an infection, soothes the urinary tract, and promotes healing of urinary tissues. Now, marshmallow root soothes urinary irritation. It's a diuretic and is anti-inflammatory as well. And then the red raspberry leaf is anti-inflammatory, immune supporting, kidney supporting, urinary supporting, and excellent for the female reproductive system overall. So that supplement has a lot of awesome things in it to really, really help with your urinary health and help to get rid of that infection. So then the third thing I did was I took a liver detox tea, 1 to 2 mugs a day. Now I have my own recipe that I make that has a lot of herbs in it. The kind of primary ones are going to be burdock, dandelion, nettle. Those are some of the main diuretics and liver and kidney supporting herbs. So you can take other ones too. You can buy liver detox teas. You can make your own parsley tea. You have a lot of options. You can also make a tea with bushu, that's B-U-C-H-U leaf, which is a diuretic. It's antimicrobial. It prevents bacteria from attaching to the urinary wall as well. It's anti-inflammatory. It's a kidney stimulant. It's a urinary antiseptic. It helps remove excess uric acid accumulation and improves circulation. So that's another really great herb. There are so many herbs to support your urinary tract. So just kind of pick what's working for you. If you want to try different things, that's okay too. But pretty much this tea is just going to stimulate more urination so you can flush things out quicker. So then the fourth thing is eat fermented foods. So you want a minimum of a half of a cup a day. If you can go for more, like a cup of yogurt, like that's awesome. So you can have yogurt, you can have kimchi, you can have fermented veggies, sauerkraut, anything like that. Just make sure if you're having a drink like kombucha, you don't want one with added sugar in it, because that's gonna feed the microbes you're trying to get rid of. So yeah, like I said, this is really just gonna help reintroduce good bacteria to your urinary tract and help balance things out again. So, oh, and with yogurt, make sure you get an unsweetened one that doesn't have any added sugar as well. Now, the fifth thing I did was just drink tons of water and pee really often. So this, again, just helps flush things out. You can also add, which I did a few times, apple cider vinegar to your water. That's another thing that can help to lower the pH in your urinary tract. So if you add 2 to 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to a 16-ounce glass of water. You can also add a pinch of salt. You can add some cinnamon or ginger in there as well, and that's going to be a really great thing to do. And you can always have cranberry juice too. I did drink a lot of cranberry juice. Okay, so optional things you can try are the cranberry juice. You can also try thyme capsules. You want ones that have at least 60% of carvacrol, so CARVACROL in them, and you would take 500 milligrams once a day if you want to do the thyme capsules. Other herbs are corn silk, marshmallow, echinacea, golden seal, juniper, goldenrod, and there's a lot of other urinary supporting herbs, so you're welcome to try any of those that you want as well. But there's already a lot of great things in here, so if you just stick to the regimen I did, I feel like that is more than enough. It worked really great for me. So I mentioned earlier I was going to tell you how to decrease the discomfort quickly. So there's a few things I noticed with this. One is changing the position that you're in. So just regular sitting like I'm doing right now really didn't give my bladder as much room, and it was really painful. So I found positions kind of like all fours, or just where you spread your legs more, gave more room around my bladder. So when you're really inflamed, just mess around, move around, try different positions so that you're putting less pressure on your bladder, and that can just be really, really relieving. And then another thing, stay active, moving around. Sitting just feels the worst. So, I kept up all my workouts. That felt really good. Just moving around the house, doing different things. It also distracts you from the discomfort. And then the thing that really, really helps is if you take a hot water bottle, or if you don't have one, like I don't have one, you can take just a mug of hot water or the tea you're drinking and just place it against your bladder and anywhere that's hurting. So if it's up in the tubes from your kidney to your bladder, you can start putting your mug or hot water bottle there. When I would boil water and the stainless steel lid of the pot is all hot, I would put that on there too. So warmth, like a warm shower, a warm bath is great, but any kind of warmth around that area is so soothing. And while you're working on the root cause, it can just really provide that immediate relief and make you feel so much better. So another thing is, throughout this whole process, you really want to maintain a positive healing attitude. Now, you want to keep tuning into your body, seeing how you're doing, really building that trust and connection with your body. And if at any point you feel like this is something that is beyond something you can deal with, you can absolutely, get the help that you need. But if you do feel like it's something you can handle, really remember your body knows what it's doing. It's working with you as you're taking these things. Your immune system is working to fight this off at the exact same time. So it's really nice to even sit and meditate and visualize all the things that you're doing working. Visualize the cranberry detaching the E. coli from the wall. Visualize the water and the liver detox tea flushing everything out. Visualize the oregano oil killing off the excess microbes. Just visualize everything you're doing working. Really trust your body and thank your body for the work that it's doing. And it might sound a little silly, but it's really powerful, especially if people are putting pressure on you to get antibiotics and you don't want to, and you really feel that you can deal with it. It's really important to remember your body's working with you and to really build that trust. Now, with antibiotics, it's just that you're so much more likely to get more UTIs. They really wipe out your microbiome. I have talked to a lot of people. I've had clients that all of their gut issues have started with antibiotics. Now, this isn't to be like a big scary thing. If you take really good care of yourself and you take good care of your gut and you eat healthy and something happens one day where you absolutely have to take antibiotics, it's not the end of the world. You can keep taking a lot of fermented foods after. You can recover from it, absolutely. If you have that healthy starting place, you're going to be way better off. But these really are not great for you. So I would like to personally absolutely minimize using them so that if something really serious happens, like you have to have a surgery or something, and because it was like all open, you need to take them, then you haven't taken them so many times that it's just going to accumulate and be worse and worse. So basically I try to only use them if I really need to. It's totally up to you, but if you clicked on the video, I'm guessing you're not really into antibiotics either. So yeah, just remember they're not the best for you. Most of the time when people, like clients I've had in the past or just people I've talked to have told me about antibiotics kind of starting all their issues, it's usually like a straw that broke the camel's back kind of situation where all their things weren't going well, their gut was already kind of off, their diet was kind of already off, and then they took it and then they had massive issues. But there are some out there, some different types that are really nasty. So, you can always do your own research. You can always ask more questions. Yeah, it's just good to make your own informed decisions and feel confident in them. So I hope this video helped you with that. I hope you learned a lot of helpful things for overcoming your UTIs. If you're going through one right now, I'm sorry you're dealing with that, and know that you can absolutely heal it. I healed mine. I talked to a lot of my friends that healed theirs naturally too. I looked up a lot of info online to find a lot of other people that have healed theirs too. So know that it is something you can absolutely heal naturally. And at the beginning of this video, I mentioned I would talk a little bit more about my program at the end. So if you currently are dealing with chronic gut issues and you want help identifying the root cause of your issues and then coming up with a step-by-step plan that is personalized to your issues to help you overcome them at the root, heal your gut, seal your gut lining, really get a strong gut microbiome going, nail down a diet that will work really well for you. If you just want help with that whole process, that's exactly what I do in Ancestral Gut Healing. There are tons of resources to help you heal your gut, and then you also get to work with me personally, so I can give you all the little tiny details on exactly what you need to do and just help guide you through the whole process. So as things come up, you can ask me questions and really get that reassurance along the way and that help tweaking things so that you can heal your gut and be symptom free as soon as possible. So that's something you're interested in. I will link a link down below where you can book a call with me. It is a free call where you can tell me more about what you're going through, what you would like to achieve, what kind of things you've tried, what's made it challenging, and then I can tell you what I'm seeing from this, what I feel like you'd benefit from, how I could help you with that, what I offer with my program, answer any of your questions, and you can decide if it's something you want to join or not. So that's something you're interested in, definitely book a call with me. I would love to talk with you. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like this, you can subscribe. I talk about gut health, healing naturally, root cause approaches, and then also ancestral nutrition on this channel. And if you want to check out some similar videos to this, I have one on how to cure candida naturally and permanently. I used to deal with really bad yeast infections, so I talk all about how I overcame that, how I've helped a bunch of my clients and my friends to overcome these as well. So if you want to learn how to overcome yeast infections, I'll put that video there. I also have one on gut dysbiosis. What is gut dysbiosis? What causes it and how to heal it naturally. So if you want more info on that, I'll put that video right there. Thank you for watching.